Istvan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Nitish, for inviting me for this interview.
Thank you. You're a technical expert in terms of the translation management systems, and you have dealt with these issues quite a bit. So it'll be great to, first of all, my question would be, what is a TMS, a translation management system? And then my second aspect of that question is that how can translation management systems be used to create efficiency in global content management?
Yeah, a translation management system basically reuses your previous translations. People like to call it globalization management system. There are some other words to that, but basically the whole idea is the reuse. Because as a company, you have an evolving documentation, you have an evolving marketing material. It is not that you are rewriting everything from scratch. Maybe at times you do, but not all the time. And what these systems do is that they are following the life cycle of your documentation, of your content in the different languages. And when there is an update, then getting that up to date in the other languages allows you to ship your products simultaneously or with several tiers, but much faster. Also, there is nowadays a lot of quickly changing content where time is really the key aspect. And with all the automation beyond the localization, you can actually set up processes to deliver all this in like an hour or two, like some of our customers do. And the other thing that's interesting is that worldwide what we see is that there are several schools of creating content. For example, what we see is that in America, content is authored normally centrally. But these days we also see that some of the companies, like let's say Adobe, they are working with a lot of crowdsourced translation. And getting back the crowdsourced material into the corporate assets is also another challenge that is posed now. Whereas, for example, in Germany, most of the time the content is created in German, and then that's translated into English. So it's like a two-tier regime of translations.
Okay. And one thing which you raised the point which kind of had me thinking was especially crowdsourced content. And this content could be very real time or could be expected real time by consumers, or may in fact need to a certain degree of simship. That means being able to deliver it soon rather than later. How could TMS systems help there?
Well, there's two things. First of all, it can speed up the entire process. So whatever people say, similar things often have been said before. I used to have a teacher who said that you can say anything you want because somebody definitely said that before you. And I think that this is also true to the content of the companies that is being produced. The other thing that is nowadays we have finally seen that machine translation, which was an isolated discipline for many, many decades. Now that got more intertwined with the translation management. So for example, we've seen examples of companies who immediately machine translate something, and then they are measuring the visibility of the content, how many people have seen that content. And once it becomes widespread, then they do an elaborate manual translation on that. And this is, for example, something that lies in the process. So I think that the process is key here.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.